Make sure that you're comfortable with the people that are going to be working your event, and make sure that you have a good rapport so that you know what your vision is for your big day is going to get executed.
Hi, this is John from PGP Wedding Films, and welcome to Say Yes to the Best, where we talk to the best wedding pros to give you wedding planning tips. And if you are looking for wedding planning tips, if you are planning your wedding and you don't know what to do, tune in every week. We have new episodes with a different pro every Tuesday, and we're all here to be a resource for you to help you plan that wedding. So today I'm with Mike from Triple Fresh Market and Catering. How you doing, Mike?
Good. Glad to be here.
Can you tell me a little bit about Triple Fresh?
Sure. We are a 200-year-old country market out in East Fallowfield. The market was originally opened in 1818. My family's owned it for over 30 years now. We're only the fourth owner in that time. We are, like I said, a 200-year-old country market. We have fresh butchered meats, local produce, a Philly-style deli featuring all Dietz & Watson deli meats and cheeses. We have everything that the big grocery stores have, a full line of grocery, and everything that you can get.
Great. And you also do catering for weddings, so can you tell me a little bit about that?
We do. We also offer a full-service catering. We do everything from hoagie trays and sandwich trays all the way up to fine dining weddings. We have 2 chefs in-house. Everything is custom made to whatever the bride and groom wants for their event. And we also do pig roasts and barbecues, just about anything that you can do.
I'm already kicking myself. I should have been like, hey, let's have some samples. Like, yeah. I didn't think that far ahead. So what did you want to share with our audience today?
Well, as the nature of the show, we try and offer advice to brides and grooms as they get ready for their big day. And there's always a lot to think about. And actually, I'm in the middle of planning my wedding. I'm getting married in May.
Congratulations.
May, so thank you. So we're kind of going through the process. The biggest thing for me going in and having been in this business for over 10 years now, one is to get started early. I know a lot of brides and grooms have their eyes on certain venues or certain vendors that they want to use. The earlier that you can get started, the better. Just to make sure that you have the venue that you want, you have the caterer, the photographer, the baker for your cake. You get a chance to have the things that you want. I think that's the most important thing, so that you're not in a crunch for time. The other thing is to make sure that you're comfortable with your vendors. Through the years, I've been in situations where vendors have come in, they haven't had a chance to sit down with the bride and groom. To me, that's very important. Make sure that you're comfortable with the people that are going to be working your event, and make sure that you have a good rapport so that you know what your vision is for your big day is going to get executed. They're the ones that are going to execute your plan and your vision, and it's important to be comfortable that they understand what it is that you want and be able to execute it the way that you want it executed, because you only have one shot at it. Mm-hmm. So it's important that all the questions are asked, all the questions are answered, and and the details are there. It's the little things, it's the small details on that day that are going to make the day go smoothly, and like I said, execute it to the vision that the bride and groom want. And that's the most important thing. You want the overall event to be the vision that is what the family wants, and also have a smooth operation in making sure that happens.
I agree completely. I know for me as a videographer, if I'm there the whole day with you. I mean, obviously there are moments where we take a step back. I'm not like up on the altar with you during the ceremony, but for the most part, I'm in close proximity most of the day. I always encourage my couples to sit down and meet with me, because maybe you like my personality, maybe you don't, but wouldn't you rather find that out before your wedding, before you signed on the dotted line, versus on your wedding day and this guy is like, you don't find my jokes funny, or whatever. You want to know who the people are, because it's going to make your day much more enjoyable. And
I found that again through the years, I've been involved in over 400 weddings, mine coming up, but it is important. as you know, they say best laid plans. You know, you have a good plan, you have a good vision, you know the way that you want to go, the direction that you want to do it. Inevitably, things are going to come up that will attempt to kind of derail what it is that you're doing. And if you have a comfortability with the vendors, the ones that are putting it on, you have the trust as a couple that they're going to make the right decisions and get everything back on track. It just means the world. There's enough going on in the life of a bride and groom, you know, leading up to the event and then the day of the event. The last thing that they need to worry about is, you know, the decisions that that a vendor's going to, you know, have to make. But inevitably, that is going to happen. So you build that trust through the process, which kind of goes to my first point. The earlier that you start in the process, the more time you have with the back and forths with the different vendors. Again, to build that trust and comfortability with it, that you know, when you wake up in the morning the day of your wedding, that you don't have anything to worry about. That's why at Triple Fresh, you know, we have, in addition to myself, we have a catering director who is at every event. We start with the initial phone call or the initial email, and we are all the way through the process until the execution of the event. So it's not something where, you know, you call in and somebody else will show up the day of. You know, we're, again, a small family business. You know, we're a smaller catering house, so we can see each event through from beginning to end. And that eliminates, you know, any of those surprises, or, you know, we build that trust and comfortability throughout the process through our tastings and walkthroughs at the venue, you know, and those kind of things. So, you know, trying to eliminate, you know, as much of the surprise as we can, so that every event gets executed the way that it's supposed to.
For a couple who was looking for catering, how much of an idea should they have going into talking to a company like yours? Or, you know, what can you do for a couple who has no idea where they should start?
Obviously, when you know, have been doing it, you know, as long as I have and encountered as many couples, there's a wide variety. There's a wide range of what they expect and what they know going into it. You certainly have couples that have been doing a lot of planning and have a really good idea what they want from a theme, from, you know, a food standpoint, for even to specific menu items, which gives us a good advantage. Not only where we are, Western Chester County, Eastern Lancaster County, there's not much that we can't get that's not made in that area or very close proximity. So it allows us to be very customizable as it comes to a menu. But for the couples that come in and are a little bit more casual and don't have much of an idea of what they do, that's where our experience comes in, where we can really walk you through what the different options are. Size of the event, venue, you know, the day of the week, the time of the year, all those factors go into what makes the most sense. And of course, budget. You know, there's, again, one of the advantages that we have, being able to customize to the level that we can put a package together that'll fit almost any budget.
So Mike, what are some of the pros and cons for both a sit-down meal and a buffet? Because, you know, for me, that's what I see mostly when I'm filming weddings.
When we meet with the family and start, you know, going through our tasting process, when we're tasting the food, we're talking about what kind of event that they're looking for. Generally, if you're a little bit more casual, you're looking towards a buffet. It's more of a casual atmosphere, and it's also a little bit more budget conscious. The main reason why it's a little bit more budget conscious for us is from the labor aspect of it. With a buffet, there's not as many moving parts, there's not as much staff, so it helps us to keep the cost down. For a plated menu, typically what you would do is you know, it's a little bit more a formal setting. It's a little bit longer, a dinner service. Usually when I go into it, and then brides and grooms will ask, you know, what's the difference? I want to get a sense of what their timeline looks like. Are you more focused on the dinner aspect of it, sitting down, having that meal, and that being kind of the focus of the reception, as opposed to a couple that's looking, let's have dinner and then I want to get to the dancing. You know, I want to get to the reception part of it. You know, and that it's a little bit quicker. You know, just to have the buffet line, you can get people through and get on kind of with the rest of the night. So those are the two biggest things. The menu options will also come into place. What you want to have as far as your meal will also dictate what style it is. Some things are a little bit, lend themselves to a plated meal as opposed to a buffet. Steak, for example, if you want to have a filet. We don't want to have a 8-ounce filet sitting in a chafing dish. You want that, coming out, being put on a plate and being served right away. So, things like that all go into it. But there's definitely pros and cons to each one. And I think it just speaks to more, what's the overall feeling that you want to achieve with your event that goes into it.
If there was one thing you could tell every couple, regarding their meal, what would you tell them?
A lot of times when we get in and we're going through the process, that the couples really want to try and accommodate everybody on their invite list, everybody that's at the event, which can be difficult with a variety of dietary restrictions and, who likes what and that thing. I would say the one main thing is to understand that it is about the couple. So when you're going in and you're thinking about the menu, pick the things that you like. It's the bride and groom's day, it's the couple's day, and that's the biggest thing that I always tell them. Pick the menu that you want, the menu that you're comfortable with, the menu that you want to see. We can certainly accommodate any dietary restriction or anything, any special dishes that need to be done. But for the main meal, just make sure you have what you want and pick the foods that you want because it is their day.
So you said you're engaged. How is that process going?
Luckily, it's like having your best friend as a car mechanic. You don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. So it's been great for us. We're getting married here at Fawnbrook. We've been working with Lori for several years now. It's a wonderful venue. We didn't shop around. We knew when we got engaged that we were going to get married here. It's just a great place. And then just being in the business, it's been a lot of fun, and we're really looking forward to it.
Have you learned anything that you wouldn't have thought of before being on the other side of things?
How many questions that you have to answer? I thought there was a lot of questions just from the catering side, but then when you start bringing everybody else in, there's a lot to consider. There's a lot to think about. So that, again, going back to what I said earlier, start the process as early as you can, because there are a lot of things that need to be decided. Things that pop up. I've been doing this 10 years, and there's still things that come up that I hadn't even considered thinking about. So. The more time that you give yourself to be comfortable with the event that you set up, the more beneficial it is.
Well, Mike, thank you for being part of this.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Good luck with your wedding.
Thank you.
Good luck. I know how much that can be. And hopefully you at home, you're hungry. And if you are hungry and you want to book Triple Fresh Market and Catering, all of their information will be below. You can look them up everywhere on the internet.
And stop by the market.
Absolutely. So thank you for watching Say Yes to the Best. If you're here for wedding planning tips, we are here every single week with a new vendor to give you all of their knowledge. So with that, happy planning.